just gasped in Target. No. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited for today's video because we're going book shopping. Whoop, whoop. So this morning, first I'm gonna go to the farmer's market, so I might get a couple of clips there, but the main event for today is that we're gonna go book shopping. My TBR is looking very bare, and then I'll do a haul, and then I'm also gonna talk about all the books I've read so far in October, which is already like 7, I think, and we're only halfway. We'll keep chit-chatting. I'll keep popping in for the rest of the month to then chit-chat about the books that I finish up for the rest of this month too. So it's like a October wrap-up / vlog of me going book shopping and a book haul. I thought I would show you my TBR before we go though, because as I said, it is very bare. So I try to only buy enough books that I'll kind of at least read them in the next like month or so. So my TBR is always like kind of short. So I'm not like, you know, just buying a bunch of books and then never actually getting to them. So these are the only books I currently have that I haven't read. So we have to finish up obviously ACOTAR. And then these are 3 Christmas books. So I'm not reading those yet until like closer to Christmas. And then When the Moon Hatched is a very big fantasy that I'm waiting until I finish ACOTAR to read this one. I kind of want to get some books that I can read in between the ACOTAR books. I really don't have much on my radar, I feel like, right now. Usually I at least have a few, like, oh, I'll grab this and this. Today we're just gonna walk into Books A Million and see what speaks to it. It's middle of October when I'm filming this. I could definitely get some fall-y books still, because I haven't really read like a fall specific. I think I would love like a fall specific romance. Yeah, let's try and find a fall specific romance. But the rest are, who knows what. Hey guys, I just got back to the car and I was about to go to Books A Million, put in the map, Singing is closed. It doesn't open until 12 o'clock and it's 10:54. So what are we talking for? I was really thinking of like getting up early today and like, I like wanted to be out even earlier than I was, which is ridiculous. Like maybe you can sleep in, it's not a big deal. And now I'm glad I didn't. The Lord knew. The Lord knew I made me sleep in. Actually, you could have slept in longer because it's embarrassing. I did buy a book from Press, as you saw, but I don't want to read it yet because I just read an Allie Hazelwood book like a week or so. Like, yeah, not even a week ago. So I'm like, I want to pace them out because I love her books, but they are quite similar. So I'm like, you know, I don't need to read another one just yet. So I'm like, otherwise I could just sit and read somewhere for an hour. That would be really cute and fresh, but I don't really want to read that one. So, are the rest of the shops there closed too? Yeah, literally the other stores are open at 10, so I don't know why. I just gasped in Target because they have their starting to put Christmas stuff out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is cute. I'm gonna put on. But, Christmas. Guys, there's more. There's bed sheets. I feel like I have Christmas bed sheets on unless I got rid of them. And then there's, oh my gosh, this little guy. Gosh, this little, oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel there's a blanket that I really want, but I'm like, it's crazy anyway. It's not even Halloween. I don't need it. It's just like cute with white snowflakes on. I'm like, this on my pink chair. It's like cute, and it's not like Christmassy. It's just wintry, so I can have it like all till like January and Feb. It was $10. I'm afraid I'm gonna get it. Guys, I'm flabbergasted. I just came to Books A Million 15 minutes early, and it is open. People are going in. What do you mean people are going in? Why are people going in? I thought it didn't. Could you imagine? I'm checking the website. When you're thinking, oh, Nicki Minaj just parked next to me. I busted it. Anyway, Singing, if you Google it, it says it opens at 10. On Google Maps, it's at 12. Google Maps is at 12. Oh, there was a girl in the car. Oops, sorry, my girl. Sorry, I take it back. All respect. That's actually ridiculous. I mean, at least I need to go to Target anyway. I wanted to come right when it opened, so I was like, Okay, it's fine. I'll just be here at 12 when it opens because I'm going to be filming, so I don't want a ton of people to be in there now, but it looks busy, so. Anyways, I do need to eat a snack though before I go in. I'm a little peckish, so we're gonna eat some little gummies. And I thought I would have time to kill, so I was gonna give you a haul of what I got in Target, so I'm just gonna do that anyway, because whatever at this point. I thought there was someone, but it was just my reflection. My reflection of my arm in the window. So I did get the blanket. I did. Oh, couldn't be stopped. It was $10. I was like, I will use it. And then I got these pair of fluffy socks. So unneeded. So unnecessary. But again, they were like $3. So it's like, okay, $13 on splurge purchases that I didn't really need. Not terrible. And then I just got some makeup bits as well that I did need. So I got this new foundation to try. L'Oreal True Match. CoverGirl used to do my favorite foundation and then they just discontinued it. So now I'm trying to find a replacement. L'Oreal isn't cruelty free, so I don't love this, but I don't like any other foundation that I've tried from a cruelty free brand, so unfortunately that's what it is. And then I got a new concealer. I always use this hydrating camo concealer by e.l.f. And then I actually went through a whole liquid blush, which is crazy, from e.l.f. I can't remember if it was this color or not, so same with the concealer. I couldn't remember what color I have at home, so hopefully I got the right shades. So yeah, that was all I got. So nothing too crazy, thankfully. I'm gonna eat my gummies, and then we'll go to Books A Million. So I am in the middle of the Chestnut Spring series. So if I see them, which I'm sure I will, I might get the next one of that. Just in the romance section currently. Speak of the woman. Here we are. Okay, so I've read Heartless, so I just need to see which one, and the first one, so I just need to see which one is the next one. To read this when it first obviously was getting all the hype, and now I feel like everyone's saying it's actually kind of mid, so now I'm like, I don't really want to read it. Just so unfortunate because it's obviously so cute, so I think I'm gonna pass. Let me know if you read it and you did really like it, and then maybe next fall I'll come back to it. I also really want to get this series, but I'm pretty sure it's fantasy, so I'm like, I'm gonna wait till I finish Avatar, and then I think this will be the next one, because I just feel like the covers are just so pretty too, and I've heard good things. This makes me want to buy every Christmas book. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so festive. Guys, look at this. That's pretty. I'm sitting here with my little ghost guy and my new blanket. Hello? Well, I just went through and added all of it to my Fable physical TBR list. If you want to add me on Fable and Goodreads, the links are always in the description. I use both. I've got a crisp apple Olipop. Love this flavor, it's so good. I've also got my socks on already. So from Books A Million, I actually got a puzzle as well. So I'm so excited about this. I've just been in a puzzle mood, but I wanted a 500-piece one. So like 1,000 was just too much, so that's 500-piece puzzle. First off, from Press, got Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I love Ali Hazelwood books. I've read Checkmate, Love Theoretically, and Bride by her. This will be my fourth one by her. She just does a romance with either science or like the one with chess. It's always like some type of like, I don't want to use the term nerd, but there is that like, I don't know, like STEM or like smart people like connection. So this one is, what is it? Neuroengineering project. So again, neuroengineering, like how many books are you gonna read about that? Not that many. There was actually one, I'll put a picture of it here, I can't remember what it's called, that I had my eye on because I've heard it's like a When Harry Met Sally vibe, and I love that movie, but I couldn't see it. So yeah. And I didn't really have like a fall stand, so I think I told you guys before that I wanted to get a fall romance book, and I just thought, oh, they'll have like a section with the fall books. As I said, I wanted to pick up that like Pumpkin Spice Cafe one, but then everyone was kind of like, iffy about it, and then I was reading reviews while I was in the store, and yeah, I just sounded like it would be boring. So I ended up, I don't think even picking up, no, didn't even pick up a romance fall book, but I think they like only had like scary books out on display or then Christmas, so they didn't really have many like fall books on display anymore, so whatever. All the rest I feel like I'd heard about or seen before. This was a total random purchase. I just saw on the shelf. I got it because my guy bestie is from Maine, and he like jokingly makes that his whole personality. So whenever I read a book that's based in Maine or mentions it, which is more than you would think, I know for sure, I think like Happy Place, it mentions it, and there's just been a few others that I'll always like send him pictures and be like, yeah, Maine. So when I saw this, I was like, I have to get it, and it sounds really cute. Based obviously in Maine, it's like in a made-up town, but you know, the vibes will, I'm sure, it'll be similar to real Maine. It says, based on a popular play, Almost Maine is an interlinked collection of heartwarming and heartbreaking stories that will have you thinking about love in an entirely new way. The premise was reminding me of like Love Actually, how it like has the multiple different like storylines you're following, and I think that's cute. So yeah, we'll see. And then I always check out, I don't know if it's like, I feel like this is probably normal for a lot of bookstores, but My Books A Million always has a clearance section, and I can usually find some like good books in there that I've either heard people talk about before or just like look interesting. This one I got for $46, and it's called With Love from Cold World. I don't know why that like made me stutter. I think I was thinking it would say like With Love from the Cold World. And I'd always seen this on a shelf and thought it looked cute because I just thought like the cover was cute. But I don't know if I really heard anyone talking about it. I like never picked it up, and then when I saw it was on sale, I was like, might as well, because this one's based in Orlando, which is funny because obviously I live in Florida. So I just had to, you know, I really just ended up picking up two books that were geographically had a connection. It sounds like a coworker enemies to lovers vibe is what I'm guessing from the back. And then this next one was Immorality, a love story, which this is, at least I know there's two books out to do with this. Yeah, it's a duology. Okay, slide. So they're both out. So I didn't pick up the second one. I didn't actually see it there, but you know, I'll end up picking it up if I like this one. But I'd heard Rachel talk about this and said that she loved it. I think she rated it a 5-star. So I was like, might as well pick it up. It seems like a slightly historical, maybe fantasy, a little bit malicious force, it says at work. So I'm guessing there's some type of magic or something to it. I really try to go into books blind, so you'll see that I'm not giving too many like synopsis for these books, because I don't want to like I'll skim the back, but I don't want to like fully read up exactly what it's about, because I'm like, I want to be surprised a bit. So, and then as I said in there, I've read the first two in the Chestnut Hills Spring series, so I thought I'd pick up the third. I was really hoping it, yeah, it is about Jasper. They referenced him a lot in the last one, so I was really hoping that this was going to be the next book. And then I apparently felt like I'm crying because I picked up Kristen Hanna, The Great Alone, which I've read Nightingale by her and Firefly Lane. Oh my gosh, guys, if you have not read Firefly Lane, I 1000% recommend. I've never cried so much as I did reading that book, in like a good way. Like, it was sad, and obviously that's why I cried, but like, oh, it was so good. So I feel like I've chit-chatted to you enough today, so I'm just gonna probably go start a core of Wings and Ruin and read that for a bit, have a little nap maybe. I'm a little tired, and then I'll talk to you guys tomorrow and do a quick review on all the books that I've read so far this month. It is now the next day, and I just want to hop on and do a review for the 7 books that I've already read in October, and it is only October 20th. That's so many for me. I don't know about you, but that's a lot for me. I thought I would review the books I've read so far today, and then for the rest of this month, any that I finish up, I'll just pop in a review after I finish it. But yeah, we read 7, DNF'd 1, so should I talk about the DNF first? Let's just get that over with. So the book I DNF'd was Before I Do by Sophie... The sticker is covering the last name. Sophie Kusa, I think it says. So I am gonna be honest with you, I did only read like the prologue and the first like 2 chapters of this, and I was just no, not gonna be able to get into it. So the reason I put it down was because it was third person, and I need to like notice if the books I'm reading are ever third person, but for some reason just in this it was like too third person, and I was like, I cannot get into this at all. It just felt like I was not even just like watching it from above, like watching it from like 5 miles away was just the disconnect, even just in those first couple of chapters. And I was like, I don't actually care. It's like, it was okay, sorry, it was a romance. It's giving that like she's about to get married, and then I think she runs into an old fling. It'll be her first love, you know, that kind of vibe. You know, wondering if the guy that she's gonna marry is actually the one, or if she should go back to this other guy. I just didn't actually care to find out whether she wanted to go back to the other guy or not, because I literally was like not invested at all. So unfortunate, but I was just like, this is just not gonna be my vibe. And usually I'm a hate reader. I'll like force myself to read it even if I'm not having a good time, but for some reason this one I just couldn't. So the first book I finished this month was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, obviously. I rated this a 3.5, and that was definitely lower than I thought it would be. I've already read Throne of Glass by her, loved it, so I had super high expectations going into this, and I think that's why I wasn't like in love with it. It took me a while to read too. Yeah, like nearly like over a week. Yeah, at least a week and a half. Usually fantasy books I can fly through. I think it was a couple things. It was more kind of like old-timey, I felt like, than Throne of Glass. It was giving me like Beauty and the Beast energy. Just like the way they were describing the like Faye main girl. She was giving Belle because she paints. I don't even know, Belle reads, but like it was just giving that energy. For my reviews, I'm very much I don't want to spoil too much of it, because I don't even want to like fully say like what's on the back or anything like that, because I personally don't like watching reviews where people talk a lot about the like details of it. I just like more of the overall vibe of whether you liked it or not. Overall vibe was, I had a feeling it was gonna get better because of like everybody else raving about it. And let's just jump to, I also finished A Court of Mist and Fury. It was later in the month, but we're just gonna jump to it. So I actually rated this one a 4.5. So we did have a big jump, 3.5 to 4.5. Court of Mist and Fury. This story, I was like, okay, we've got into it now. We've got the romance going, we've got the high stakes going. I loved the character growth, I feel like, from the main girl from this one to this one. And she was just less annoying. I think she was annoying me in this one. Now she's less annoying. I also read Heartless by Elsie Silver, and I rated this a 4-star. I just really like the Chestnut Swing series. It does romance well. I love the found family aspect of it. I think I touched on this. I'm getting deja vu. Did I ever talk about this in this video? These are very smutty, so I usually will like skip past that if it's like full chapters just based on that. We'll be getting a skim and skip from me. But if it's like a little bit thrown in, like that's fine. Like that's real. I was about to say realistic. I've never been in a relationship, so I don't know. But there was the age difference, but it was tasteful. I don't love kids, but I liked the kid in this. I thought he was cute. Okay, saying I don't like kids is very, I just don't want kids. So I don't mind other people's, like my friends' kids, but yeah, I liked him in that. It was cute. Very grumpy main man energy, bubbly girl. And then I read The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I rated this a 4. I thought it was good. I've read obviously the whole like Inheritance Game series. I read The Brothers Hawthorne, and I liked this more than The Brothers Hawthorne. For sure, that was just kind of boring. But this was actually good. If you've read the Inheritance Games, you know that there's like a game at the end, Grandest Game. So I was always, when I finished that series, I was always like, oh, I can't wait to like go into the game aspect. It was different than I thought it would. It was more focused on the like contestants and their stories and stuff than the like Hawthorne family. It was good. I was invested in like the characters. It is like part of the series though, so if you haven't read the Inheritance Game series, there's no point reading this one yet. But if you have read that series, I would recommend picking it up. I thought it was good. And then I have a surprising romance that I loved. It was Georgie All Along, and I've just never heard anybody talk about this. It was really cute. I rated it a 4-star. I mean, it was your typical romance, but like it was just a cute like storyline. I felt like there was actual like arguments and stuff in it that seemed like real. I feel like sometimes in romances they can just make everything seem way more dramatic, and like, you know, when they're pushing each other away and you're like, no, like what, just talk about it. Like there wasn't, I mean, there's always miscommunication, but there wasn't like a ton, I don't think, and it just felt very like, okay, yeah, this is actually like, I can see this happening in real life. Side characters were cute. Like it was just really good. I think I read through it literally in like a day or two. Like I really read through this quick. I really liked it. I've never heard anyone else talk about it, but if you want a little romance, I would recommend it. If you guys watched my last reading challenge vlog, where like besties pick how many pages I read. You saw that I read Love Theoretically literally in one day, and I rated it a 4-star. I love Allie Hazelwood. I feel like her romances, again, they're just so cute, and she just does them well. Enemy coworker moment to romance. There's a bit of fake dating in it. I just did what I needed to do. It was a fun read. As I said, I blitzed through it in a day, and it was just so cute. I love when authors write about smart men. I'm like, oh, we love the intelligence. It's just, oh, it's so hot. The last book that I just finished, like yesterday or the day before, Mad Honey, which I rated 3.5 star. I actually got this book thrifting, and when I opened it to read it, I saw that the authors would sign on the inside, so that was fresh. The book itself, yeah, rated a 3.5. So it was good. It's a mystery. There's actually quite a few like plot twists in this, so I did like that aspect. There was a few times I was like, oh my gosh, I would not have guessed that. It's about this beekeeper. Definitely look up trigger warnings. There was a lot of like domestic abuse in this, which I didn't love, so I think that's why it's like not like a heavy book, but like a bit. Like it's not like, oh, this is a fun chill read. There was a few times I was like, ooh, like it just like it makes you feel uneasy. There's obviously like this very sad stuff that happens in real life, so like, okay, it's good that it's like talked about in books, but again, like I just wasn't expecting that when I picked it up, so I was like, woman, and then she has a son, and then the son is dating this girl, and something happens to the girl, and then it's this whole like trying to figure out like what happened. The son gets arrested, and like their case in court and all that kind of stuff. So it did kind of like drag on. I feel when it came to the court part, I was like, okay, like we've like most of the book was about that. There was a lot of like details of like the kids, both of the kids like past lives, which again was like needed for the story, but it also felt like a little too much information. I was reading the Goodreads reviews after, and some people like it felt like there was just a lot of buzz topics put in there that were like hot topics. It did feel a little bit like that in retrospect. I was like, oh my gosh, they're dealing with this and this and this. I was like, give the kids a break. So that was all I've read so far. I need to run a church, so I will chit chat to you guys when I next finish a book. Hey guys, it's now November, so I wanted to chit chat about the 2 more books that I ended up finishing in October, and then just wrap this video up. So I read Almost Maine, and as you guys saw, just bought this, and this is the first book I picked up and read from that haul, and I loved this at first. If you guys, I have a like I'm reading like how much I realistically read in a week video coming up in I think a couple of weeks, and I read this in that. So if you want like my full thoughts, stick around, make sure to subscribe, and then watch that video. I told you the premise earlier. So I rated it a 3.5, and I loved it. It was so weird throughout the whole book, like magic happening, but I was like this is the stupidest thing I've ever read in my life, but like in a good way. In a good way. I don't mean that in like a rude way. Like one of the mini stories was that one of the characters realized he was in love with one of the other characters, and he kept falling down, literally could not stand up, and when he did get himself to stand up, he would fall down because he was falling in love. Okay. It was just like little funny stuff like that. The reason I didn't like, I liked it, and I loved the first 2/3 of it. Didn't like the last third of it, because it does even say on the back that it's like a story of like heartwarming and heartbreaking stories, and he put all the heartwarming stories at the beginning, and then like the last 3 mini stories were then all the heartbreaking ones, I feel, or the ones that like didn't end in happy endings. So I was like, oh, okay, so you just left then like feeling a little sad, like, or I don't know, it was just like, why are we ending on a low? I wish those had kind of been like sprinkled out maybe throughout more, so then like you were taking on more of a roller coaster throughout the book versus just like, okay, really happy, cute stories, and then the ones that weren't, that were like a little sad. And then we finished A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I'm gonna rate this puppy a 5 stars. This was so good. Again, you'll stay tuned for that reading vlog, because my jaw was dropping so much at the last like 100 so pages of this. Oh, Sarah's just so good at like taking, everybody says it, but just taking something from like this small detail from the beginning and then whipping it out like in the heat of the moment, and you're like, wow, full circle. This happened a lot in Throne of Glass too, where it'd be like, that'd be in the like action scenes, you know, the battles, and then just something comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my gosh, of course that was working in the background, and now we're discovering it. Sometimes in characters, like in books like this, where you don't actually know everything that the main character is thinking, even though you're like technically in the POV of her. So like even she'll surprise you with things sometimes, which is great. Yeah, I love this. Love all the side characters and all of their like connection to the plot, and 5-star. So that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.